Good evening, Denver Broncos country, and welcome to the Denver Bronco Roundup, brought to you by Rocky Mountain Sports Network. I am Keith Brugman. Just to the side of me, I have Albert Mile High Dutchy. Big wave to those of you who are coming in via video, and Jody Moncrief hanging out in the cheap seats way back there down below us. Welcome, guys. How you doing?
I'm doing very well. We have a nice win. We have a win, and so that is good. And the weather was great here. It's except for this evening, it started raining a little bit, but it is well needed rain.
Well-needed rain in the very near enemy territory, Kansas City area right there. Mile High Dutchy tuning in from deep within, like I said, enemy territory. Jody, our lone representative from Colorado. Man, I know the week has been bad for you for sports. I will say this, man, you got to be happy when your team is competitive to the very, very end. I know it's always great to take home championships, but hey, we're talking about a Denver Broncos team that hasn't been competitive. I know you're an Astros fan, so this week hurt a little bit, or last night hurt a little bit. But, man, how's your week besides that, or including that even? I understand if you need a little bit of venting there, Jody.
Other than last night, it's good. The Nuggets raised their banner tonight. That was pretty cool to watch. Putting it to the Lakers up 14. Nice. I like to see that. Avs are off to a 5-0 start, so happy about that.
Yeah,
and
man.
we got a win last Sunday, so
a lot of things in Colorado sports pointing in the right direction, man. That's for sure. You raising banners on a 5-game winning streak. Broncos finally, get that mile-high win for this year. Get that mile-high win for Sean Payton, and get a win in the win column. We needed one. Need a little bit of wind in your sails even now, every now and then. So for all of you guys that are tuning in, been waiting, getting a little conversation. Hey, and by the way, that includes good friend Jeremy Dressler. Jeremy, thank you so much for tuning in. Appreciate you so much. Saying, what's up, fellas? Jeremy, just talking a little Denver Broncos. It's a win. And I don't know if you noticed, but Albert over here was talking about, the rain coming in. Well, right now, our high tomorrow is going to be at midnight up here. And that's going to be a high of 26 tomorrow at midnight, and it's only going to get colder. Got my Broncos heavy jacket out, man. It's a little bit cool up here, man. We don't got the heat kicked up quite yet, man, but it's going to be a little bit cool. So I know Jeremy's in the same kind of neck of the woods. I'm sure he is bundling up as well. So fantastic. And then, hey, we got Pearl coming in. Pearl, if you get a chance, go over to StreamYard.com/Facebook, just like Jeremy must have, because he used to come in here, and I used to not know exactly who he was. But hey, no worries. I'm trying to watch off to the side. Pearl's coming in saying hello. Michael Ronquillo coming in and saying good evening, Keith, Jody, and Albert. And Jeremy, I'll just get this one up on the screen. It says, if the defense tears it up for the rest of the year, do you want VJ to stay? I'm going to wrap around to that question a little bit closer here and near the end, I guess you could say. We'll get to your question, though. I promise you, Jeremy. I appreciate you so much. Guys, I'm going to take a little excerpt from Dan Patrick, and I want Jody to start off. Jody, do you play a little bit of sports when you were in high school, Little League, anything like that? Yeah?
Yep.
Yeah, getting the head nod. What is your most outstanding sports moment of your life?
Oh, wow. Wait,
putting you on the spot. I know.
On the spot.
Albert, if you have one on the tip of your tongue, he does. He's got his most. So, Jody, we'll let you think about that and mull that over. You can go back to when you were 6 and you, got to first base on your first time at kickball if you want. Hey, that's all good, too. Albert, what do you got, man?
When I was 14 years old, I stopped a penalty of an adult who could kick about 110 miles an hour.
There you go, man. Felt you're on the map at that point, right, man?
It was so fast that I caught the ball, and with the ball and all, I flew in the net of the goal.
Needing to put on a little weight still. Albert, at age 14. The ball's carrying him at 110 miles an hour into the back of the net, looking like a cartoon. I think I saw that episode once. But yeah, man, hey, it's fantastic, man, when you can step up to a challenge at that level. All of a sudden, you're like competing with some of the best as an adult. Awesome, man. I love that moment. Jody, did you think of one?
Probably the best one I remember. It was in high school. I don't remember what grade. My parents had just bought me a brand new baseball bat. I had never swung it or anything, and the first swing with it, I hit a home run with it.
Nice, man. Knock it out straight away, left, right.
The right field.
Right field.
Yeah.
Nice, man. Are you a lefty or a righty?
Lefty.
Lefty. Oh, so you got the pull. I was like, man, that away ball, man, that's a tough one to get, man. Those home runs, but nice, man.
Yeah.
Step up there, first swing, first time at bat with that, knock it out. I love it, man. Mine was, I was in 4th grade. We did 4th, 5th grade mixed flag football, and which basically meant the 5th graders. The 5th grader was the quarterback, and the 5th grader was all the wide receivers, and there was a few other 4th graders that ran around and kind of got in the way. And so we ran all the way to the championship, and all of a sudden I go out and I'm going for this pass, and man, the ball's coming right towards me. I mean, I got to go up and I got to leap for it, but I leap for it right at the goal line, come down, touchdown. And I get up and I look, and his buddy that he was trying to throw to was right behind me. But that being said, scored the touchdown. We end up losing the game, all said and done. But man, just to be out there and all of a sudden feel like you contributed, put us up in the game at that point. I scored a touchdown. Like I said, as a 4th grader, you were never typically involved in the game plan at all, as it was a mix in 4th and 5th graders, and the 5th graders just kind of ran ruckshaw over what it was. So to be scoring in a championship game, that was a highlight for me, man. 9, 10 years old, man, that was fantastic. Well, hey, thanks for sharing, man. Takes me a little bit back, makes me try to remember. And another guy that's going to make you try to remember, we're going to jump up in here, and then we'll jump back into the comment board. I want to get to right now, see if I can get this all queued up. You guys haven't seen this in a while. It's time for a little bit of... Right, man. We got some Noppers Knowledge, man. I figured we'd kick this off right off the bat, guys. It's been so long. I keep telling Albert, we're going to squeeze it in. I'll get it in near the end. I'll get you in here. And then, we get into conversation. We get into all your guys' fantastic comments. And we miss out on Noppers Knowledge. So, Albert, let's get a Noppers Knowledge in. It's been too long. I want it. We need it. We need to be tested. Test our brain cells this evening. What do you have for us?
Okay, this player was born in February 19th, on February 1999. That would mean he's 24 now.
Thank you.
In Stone Mountain, Georgia.
Okay. 24-year-old from Stone Mountain, Georgia. Keep going, man, and let's get a few more going in here.
Okay. He is 6'2" and 265 pounds.
6'2", 265. Okay.
Like I said, he played for high school, Stone Mountain, and then for college, Valdosta State in Central Michigan.
Okay. Wow. Okay.
Now it's going to be easier.
Okay, thank you. Whoo, man.
In his college career, he totaled 146 tackles, 45 being a loss, 28 and a half sacks, and 2 pass deflections. 3 forced fumbles, 1 going for a touchdown.
All right, I'm gonna let that mull for just a minute, Jody. Unless you have, we got our first guest coming in, Michael Ronquillo coming in from over on YouTube. His guess is Alex Singleton.
I think Alex Singleton is a little bit older than 24.
Okay, so not Alex Singleton. Good guess though, man. Mm-hmm. There's a guy that can rack up the stats, man. Just like you're kind of rattling off right there. Those some pretty impressive stats. I haven't a thought. Jody, you got a thought?
Not yet, I don't.
Okay.
Can I throw my first guess out there? Is this a Nick Bonito?
Nope.
No? Okay. Okay, keep rolling.
Okay. His best college year occurred in 2022, where he posted 57 tackles, 19 for a loss, and 11.5 sacks, 2 fumble recoveries, and that was one of them was going for a touchdown, and he also had a forced fumble. His efforts in the 2022 season resulted in him being named first team All MAC.
What was his height and weight again?
He's 6 foot
6'2",
2 and 265.
currently.
Yep.
Okay. 6'2", 265. Gosh.
No, it's not linebacker Drew Sanders.
Oh, yeah, you're skipping ahead on me. Slow down, Albert. I'll get it up there, man.
Okay.
Michael Ronquillo is coming with the guess of Drew Sanders, man. Any more guesses from you, Jody? Or are we gonna have to get some gimme guesses on these or clues on this Noppers Knowledge, man?
No guess from me yet.
No guess for you, man.
Okay.
You said it was getting easy, Albert. You're making us look like fools.
Yeah,
Go ahead, keep going.
So he was not being selected in the 2023 NFL draft. He signed with the Broncos as an undrafted free agent. His first name starts with a T.
Don't do stuff like that, man.
Thomas Incoon?
There we go. Thank you, man. Ended it for us, and I thought of him kind of early, but then I thought, man, is it too young? Is he too young? He just was drafted. I was thinking, with all the hype he had, maybe he was younger than 24. I guess is the best way to put it, man. So threw me off the trail, man. Congratulations. That was see. This is what happens, man. When you come all the way in from Hawaii, that internet connection is a little bit slower, and it takes a little while to shoot across the ocean. Patrick Wiltsey had it. Patrick Wiltsey's chiming in over on Facebook. Appreciate you so much coming in here, buddy. He comes in with Thomas Incoom. Michelle's coming in and saying, that was painful. You don't have to be on camera, Michelle. I appreciate it. But Michelle's chiming in as well over on YouTube. Appreciate you so much. Hey, we got Ed Siciliano jumping in here and saying, what's up, boys? What's up, sis? So great to see you. Always love to have you in our chats. Sis has been making an appearance or two over on K&K Sports Show, not just in the chat room. I saw him up on screen. So check out the Try that again. Check out the K&K Sports Show, guys. If you're wanting to check out major sports, East Coast flair, but covers it coast to coast, K&K Sports Show. Those are kind of our cousins in the business. Check them out. It's they're fantastic. And then who else we got in here? We got that was Sis again. He's coming in here on multiple times saying, "Hey boys, what's going on? What's up, boys? Hey man, we're hanging out. We're talking a little bit of Denver Broncos football. We're a little bit excited because we did get to come off a win. We haven't been able to say that all that often, Sis. And I don't know how often we'll be saying that in the future, to be completely honest. But hey, that being said, we're in here and we're enjoying it. Pearl was coming in when she was talking about when we were talking about our favorite sports moment. Says, guess I'm different. I exercised racehorses in New York City. Saw Secretariat at Belmont before and after his big race. Oh my goodness. Wow. That is I have a stack of Sports Illustrateds back here, and one of the first ones that I ever got, because I found this little honey hole where I can get these Sports Illustrateds, right? And one of the first ones I picked up was a Secretariat Triple Crown winner. I knew that it was something special. It's not in the best condition, but wow, what a story to be there. What I can't even imagine. There's only so many legendary type of moments in history, and that is one of them. Absolutely, Pearl. Congratulations on that. I don't know how you guys feel. I don't know if you guys are much into horse racing or know much about Secretariat, but it's off the charts in my mind. So Any
No.
thoughts on Secretariat? Sorry, I don't know.
No.
No.
No. Okay. Yeah, that was that. I'm on board with you, Carl. No worries. Secretariat was a Triple Crown winner in horse racing, and we haven't had a whole lot of those that have went out there and done that. That's not a whole lot of horses get on the front of Sports Illustrated. Let's just put it that way. So that was the reason why, and it's what a tremendous honor to just be in the presence of all that and being able to be in that industry. That's kind of cool. I really like that. Oh, and see, I knew if I talked long enough, I would get a response. He was so beautiful, she said. So, thank you so much. And hey, thank you. I still ride at 75. That's fantastic, Pearl. That's we always talk, me and my wife. It's all about being active as we get older. If not, you'll end up being older. Going out there and riding horses at 75. Hats off to you. I love to hear it. So, very good. Hey. We're missing one of our fourth partners over here on the Denver Bronco Roundup, guys, Trevor. But Trevor's now following Michael Ronquillo over on X. So, yeah, I guess I'm a bad friend, Michael. I apologize. I'll get to liking you over there on X as well. But Trevor, our new guy, taking care of us and taking care of our fans, good fans like you, Michael Ronquillo. The judge hasn't been around here for a while, man, and the judge has been a little bit noisy in the chat boards, man. He's been talking about a few things. I put it up in the ad, and it's time that we get it up on the screen. So without further ado, Judge. I've been thinking this Denver Broncos offense was supposed to be fixed. It was terrible last year. For all intents and purposes, there's not a whole lot of reasons to snub your nose at what's happened so far under the Sean Payton regime. That being said, you're not going to let it just slide, man. You think there's more out there, man. And one of the things that you brought to the table was, I'll let you say it.
Open the playbook.
Open the playbook, man. So plead your case. I mean, it's not very often the judge needs to plead his case, but I guess plead your case or bring down the ruling on why this needs to happen, bud.
If you watch old Saints games and prime Drew Brees, you've seen a lot more of this offense. Sean Payton, for whatever reason, treats Russell Wilson like he's a rookie quarterback. Is there things that he can't do that Drew Brees can? Sure, but there are also things that he can do that Drew Brees couldn't. Drew Brees was the same height as Russell. He could see, and he was making passes. Do something to get Russ a little, if he's having problems seeing over the line, out of the pocket. And open this playbook up. You have a Super Bowl winning, soon to be Hall of Fame quarterback. Don't treat him like he's a rookie and take the training wheels off. That would be my big thing.
Right on, guys. I'm having a little. You got me still, man? I'm having a few internet issues over on my end, so if I'm in a little bit of a delay, guys, I'm sorry, man. Just noticed that was creeping up just as of lately again. Tried to get this all fixed before we got live, but that being said, man, I understand, man. I kind of shared right before we got started a little bit of a pass chart of where Russell Wilson is passing the ball, and quite honestly, I don't think it all has to do with just what a lot of people have been saying about Russell Wilson and the fact that he's checking down the ball a lot. Well, I think, quite honestly, if you start looking at some of the routes and what's available to him, it's not like we're stretching the field. Albert, what are your thoughts about opening up the playbook, letting Russ get it downfield a little bit more, and more importantly, just a larger breadth of a playbook that'll get you, more route combinations, I guess not the same 6-7 plays as I believe Jody said or something to that effect. during our chat during the game.
It all starts with the running game. I just want to be sure that I was not on mute. It all starts with the running game. If you open up the running game, then the passes will come automatically. Because what will the defenses do? They start more participating of thinking of, oh, we have to do something about the run, and then you have the passes that come free. Right now we haven't done that, so that's why the passes plays were so limited, because the defenses, no matter what you do, they could calculate what was going on, and so there was a lot of predictability in there. Open up the playbook, run more.
Jody, and I should have gave Albert the big screen too, but what are your thoughts on that? Is it more about getting this run game involved as well in order to open up that pass game? Is that what we're seeing, is that we haven't seen that commitment to the run game, and because with that lack of commitment to the run game, we haven't been able to devise more in the passing game at the same time?
Yeah, that's where it starts. And it goes back to putting this team together. You went out and got run first guys, and then wanted to throw the ball 60, almost 70% of the time. I know that that's Sean Payton's past history, but it made no sense with the players he brought in. As you can see, the last 2 weeks it was more balanced. Kansas City was just off. But last week you could see running the ball, set up some things. For whatever reason, Denver still does not want to throw deep. Still not getting Mims on the field, 18 snaps again. That's why I still go back to a little stat I seen. 60% of this current draft didn't even dress. Riley Moss, J.L. Skinner, Alex Forsythe. I mean, you just benched Damari Mathis in place of him, and it benched Damari Mathis in place of another corner, and you still can't dress Riley Moss. So, but back to the run. I'm kind of going off.
Yep, that's all right, man.
Little topic, but back to the run game. Yeah, it's what's key to this team. You set it up with the run game, or you set this roster up to run, and that's when Russ was his most successful, was running the football. He was never throw the ball 40 times a game, and you can see he was efficient this game.
I agree, man. Good looking game from stem to stern. I was getting just a little bit of distracted because we got our comment board kind of still lighting up over here to the side. We got Kurt Valente coming in saying, "What's up, boy? Tank this. Let's go. Beat the Chiefs. Let's go." He's also came in right after that and said, "Thank you guys again for coming on last week." Yeah, if you didn't catch it, we had Albert, we had Jody, we had Trevor do a little guest hosting, I guess you could say, or co-hosting over on the K&K Sports Show. Kurt Valente has a fantastic Denver Broncos podcast that he does Wednesday, and you'll have to remind me the time. If you guys probably know, because you had to be there for the show. What time was it, guys?
9 Central.
9 Central, that's 8 p.m. Mountain Time, where our Colorado people are at. For those in the Central, yes. Then they're an hour ahead. Or did I do that right? I did that right? Yes, okay.
Yep.
Very good. So, that being, 9, 8. Very good. 9 and 8. So, check them out. K&K Sports Show. Kurt, you guys did fantastic over there. Fantastic roundtable. A lot of good discussion over there. My little hats off and clap to my co-hosts that were on there. And Kurt as well. Fantastic show. And Trevor, who said he might pop in the comments, but haven't seen him as of yet. Kenny says, "Your Honor, what kind of sentence is Sean Payton getting if he doesn't open it up?" Putting you on the spot, Judge. Sorry.
I don't think he's going to get much of anything because
he's the high court.
He's the high court, and from all reports, if he's not in love with Russ, it sounds like he's going to get to pick who he wants. So, Now, if I was in charge, I would say if you can't win with make it work with a Super Bowl winning future Hall of Fame quarterback, then what are we doing? Then how great
Very,
is really your system?
that's fair, man. There you go, Judge. That's what the judge needs to do. He needs to come in with this ruling. Hey,
I
the thing is that hey, Sean Payton's maybe got the judge in his pocket right now, getting whatever sentence he wants. But
I have a sentence for him.
awesome. And then I want to get to you on another question, Albert.
Okay, he has to eat sushi from every player.
No, no. What?
Sean, Sean Payton hates sushi.
Oh, Albert came in with some very suspicious jokes before we came on. I was a little bit worried about his beverage of choice. Don't worry, guys. It's completely G-rated beverage of choice, unless there's something inside of there.
Nope.
I don't know if we're sponsored by Teddy's, but congratulations to Teddy's Root Beer. They get a little bit of plug on our show. Albert, my question, and I thought of this today, man, and I think this is a pretty relevant question. How big of a loss is Greg Dulcich to this team? This Greg Dulcich was supposed to be AKA the Joker. If you look back and you look at Sean Payton offenses and the use of a tight end in his offense, AKA a Jimmy Graham, for instance, you know, heck, even Jeremy Shockey got a good run with Sean Payton down in New Orleans. I digress. How big of a loss is Greg Dulcich, or especially, well, I'll just leave it at that. Is Greg Dulcich to this offense?
I think he is a big loss. I, because he is not just a regular tight end. He is a tight end that can be in a big wide receiver role, and he can come across the middle, and he's fast. He is not afraid. He keeps going. Yeah, the tight ends that we are using now, like Troutman and the other two,
Manhurts, Adkins, yeah.
they are not that person in the offense for Russell Wilson. Dulcich would be a really nice target, especially over the middle, and I think that's what's hurting them as well. Maybe that's why they have dumbed down the playbook a little bit too.
Yeah, I'm going to pose this a little bit different to Jody. Jody, are we missing Greg Dulcich, or are we missing the player that Greg Dulcich represents? Is Greg Dulcich going to be that guy that's going to be the Joker, that's going to be the key cog in this offense? Or does it still have to be once again a position that we need to be looking at maybe down the road?
No, it's got to be a position we're looking at, and as soon as this coming draft or free agency, we get that zero production from tight end play, and that really hurts us. If you're going to run a lot of these slants and this type of offense, that's that's bread and butter for a tight end, and we are getting nothing from it. I mean, I'm on. I hate using the bust word, but I think Greg Dulcich is just about there. He can't stay healthy. And I mean, the best availability is availability. So
Yeah.
he doesn't have it. So, but this goes back to Sean Payton too. I mean, he made a big deal in week one when Greg Dulcich got hurt that it really messed things up. What was the backup plan if Greg Dulcich, you knew that he already had a history of soft tissue injuries? What was your backup plan if and when this happened?
Yeah, it didn't seem like we had a backup plan. Like you said, where we brought our talent in was not meshing with the team that it seemed like we wanted to be. You know, whether it happened to be that, you know, that offensive lineman that we brought in, offensive tackle, you know, left guard, whether it happened to be the tight ends that we brought in. Everything pointed towards a run game, and everything out of the gate has been a lot more towards that passing. Gonna jump back in here into the comments. I can already see Albert reading off to the side, so I'm a little bit concerned. Yeah, he's gonna jump me on about 6 of these comments if I'm not. But that's what's great. Albert loves all of you guys out there. Probably I hate to say more than me or more than Jody, but Albert's the guy who gets on here. Is like, man, I'm keeping track. I want to thank everybody that's jumping in here. I want everyone to be recognized, man. We appreciate you guys a ton. Albert takes care of that for us. But that being said, I want to take care of some of these comments. This is Pearl and saying sushi versus Rocky Mountain oysters. No. Yeah, I will eat sushi until the cows come home. Ha 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 ha. Next one I have, and I just got to read this off to off to the side, guys. This is actually Trevor coming in saying, "Hey, Broncos country, it's good to have you all. Have a great show, guys." Well, thank you, Trevor. Appreciate it. I knew he would jump in here. It was almost like, I called him out subliminally across the airwaves. So, Kurt Valente is jumping in here saying, "It's why I want Brock Bowers. He is a good next Gronk in the NFL. Our running game with Russ. Now put Bowers in as our tight end. Home run hitters, Mims and Judy. That's what I want." Yeah, Brock Bowers looked fantastic down the run. I don't watch a ton of college football. Looked fantastic down the run last year. Knew that he had to come back. So it's a guy that I'm going to be keying up on again this year as we kind of wind into that time of year. Right now I'm a little bit wound up into Broncos football. Get into a few more comments, though. Nathaniel Hackett wanted him here with the Broncos during the 2022 NFL Draft. That's Michael Ronquillo coming in talking about Greg Dulcich there. This is Pearl saying, but hey, Greg Dulcich has to be healthy. Yeah, and like just as Jody was talking about, best ability is availability. I'll get it out there somehow. Michael Ronquillo coming in, I believe, with some agreement. Georgia tight end Brock Bowers is one tight end I like in college football, and I would agree. Like I said, down the stretch. I'm going to save Kenny's question for here for just a little bit, and it looks like we're getting a little bit more off the rails. I want to get back into this just to wrap up a little bit on this game in a little bit different way here quickly, guys. And Jody, I'll start with you. Jody, who I want to say winners and losers. Who was the winner for you in this Broncos win against the Green Bay Packers? Who was your winner out of this game?
Oh, there's a few to choose from, but I'm going to go with an under radar guy that no one really, I don't think a lot of people noticed, is Fabian Monroe. Came in and started for Davari Mathis and played pretty well. Didn't give up any big plays. Kind of solidified that number 2 cornerback spot for once this year. Something we haven't had all year. No interceptions or any big plays, but not knowing he's on the field is pretty important for a cornerback. So,
yeah, it's exactly what you want to hear. Is your name never ever called? Fabian Moreau came in there and he quieted. I mean, there was no hardly a talk about him unless it was in a positive way. Good call out, Albert. Who is your winner from this last Broncos game versus the Green Bay Packers?
I have two winners. And
no, you only get one.
One on each side.
Nope. One. You get one. Okay. It's like naming the MVP of the league here, buddy. It's like trying to get a 5th person on Mount Rushmore. It just doesn't happen. You get one.
I have to agree with Kenny. For me, it's the kicker Lutz. In the first game, everybody talked, "Oh, this is a pick. Why is this so useless pick?" And it's no good. Right now, he is 12 for 13 on field goals and 12 for 13 on extra points. And I think he got the game winner kick. So, yeah, Lutz is for me a winner.
Right on, buddy. I'll go a little off the radar. I wish I would have brought up the stat. I want to say it was for the last 2 games. Lloyd Cushenberry has given up 0 pressures and 0 sacks. Lloyd Cushenberry was supposed to be the absolute weak spot of this offensive line. And for him to come out with 0 pressures, 0 sacks, that's exactly what we need to see. Exactly what we need to see from a guy that looked lost last year, from a guy that looked like one of the worst players on the field, a guy that everyone was saying we need to move on, we need to cut, playing very, very well. And it's something that we need on this offensive line if we're going to be able to run the ball, if we're going to be able to get that protection like we need down the stretch as well. So
here's my thought. Does he look so much better because of Ben Powers and Quinn Miners next to him playing at a good level?
Well, yeah, I mean, Ben Powers had a little bit of struggles early, and that would coincide, but that being said, I don't care how it's happening. I don't think you can just say, hey, there's a guy next to him who's playing pretty well, and that's the reason you make a momentous swing like this. I think a lot has to do with the effort that this guy is putting in, both on and off the field, in order to try to, get better at his craft. And yeah, if you have a all-pros or potential future all-pros standing next to you, yeah, it's going to elevate your game. I get that, but hats off to him for looking better in these last couple of games, including last week. I don't want to knock him down. We will start with maybe knocking people down right about now, though. Albert, I'll go right to you. I said winners. I want you to pick out one loser from this game.
We can go for the obvious, K-Jack.
Sure, go right ahead, man.
But yeah, he is now disqualified for 2 games instead of 4. I think K-Jack needs to step down as a player and really start going into coaching. And I think that would be his biggest win. But yeah, for me, K-Jack is the loser.
Yeah, it's tough to see. It's a different type of football, maybe a time that passed us by now. Just can't be going in there quite like that. 4-game suspension was appealed, goes down to a 2-game suspension. Jody, we've taken the obvious one off the board. K-Jack was disappointing. Whenever you lose a player like that, especially underneath those circumstances, it's disappointing. Who is your loser, though, if you had to choose somebody else?
For me, it's one player. For me, it's a coach, and it's not so much how he called the game. It's the players. He's still not playing. Sean Payton. Mims only 18 snaps again. And Jaleel McLaughlin. I know Javonte Williams was kind of rolling, but to only get him 6 snaps, that's not gonna cut it. And that's why I still go back to all these rookies here that he has a chance to play, and he doesn't want to play them. That's why I just don't see a rebuild coming.
It's fair, man. It'll bring up a question, and maybe I'll dive into it a little bit more about exactly what's happening and why we're playing or not playing the guys we are. But I'll get to my most disappointing player in this game, and I hope he's watching and I hope he's listening. And I know there's no way that's even a possibility. But that being said, Damari Mathis, you told me that I was to expect big things and I was going to get big things. And you went from being a guy that really turned it on. I thought it was going to be the number 2 that had across from PS2, maybe for years to come. And you went from there to underperforming to start the year to not even getting a start when it comes to cornerback on the field. He was in on some special teams, so I'll give him that. At least he didn't get completely off the 53. We all know it's tough. Just ask Jail Skinner. Just to ask Mosk if it's Riley Moss if it's easy to get on the 53 and suit up. So he's not completely off, but man, I'm disappointed. I'm disappointed in Damari Mathis, and I want him to step up. I hope he is hearing this. I hope he takes it as a challenge, and I hope that he's challenging himself if he's not listening to this. Because I like Damari Mathis. I think he brings a lot to the table, and I like his tenacity. I'm hoping if he does get this opportunity, especially with this more simplified defense, maybe that helps him. because I think it helped a lot of players in this defense, including Fabian Moreau. He had opportunities early in this season and did not look good and looked fantastic in this game. So, Damari, please, when you get it out there all week long, work hard, get your opportunity, get back on the field, and take that chance back. I want you to be that player. You have a larger future, I think, than I would like to see from Fabian Moreau. No disrespect to Fabian Moreau. So, gentlemen, I got to get off that horse. Whoo, boy. I'll get back into this, into the comment board here just really quick, though. What do we got here? Trying to get in here and get all caught up. It really helps, guys. I'll be honest. Really helps me out a ton if you go over to StreamYard.com/Facebook. Go over there and say, please allow me to use my Facebook profile. And we're all set to go. But this is Pearl. It says, I tend to play a game. It's called Who Wins, Refs, or Team? Laugh out loud. Yeah, sometimes it seems like, especially in a game like that last one, we had the refs that are out there threw the second most flags of any refereeing crew in the NFL so far. It's like, who's going to win? It's going to be the refs. Is it going to be the team? Who's going to be actually winning and losing these games? Sometimes it seems like the refs get a little bit too involved. The one that just drove me nuts, and I don't know about you guys, Quinn Bailey holding on a touchdown, guys. Talk a little bit about that, because we had a touchdown on the board that was wiped off, if you guys remember correctly. It was Javonte Williams that punched it across. What were your guys' thoughts? Jody, I'll start with you. Head over to Albert on the rest or even on that call.
I was more frustrated with Denver, and we brought in these so-called blocking tight ends, and neither one of them are on the field in blocking situations, and you have a backup lineman out of position trying to block. That was more of my frustration. The call, whatever. We've struggled all year in the red zone, so, I mean, we need to figure out how to overcome stuff.
Yeah, that's fair, man. I mean, it's just not going to be the penalties that we have to overcome sometimes. We have to overcome ourselves sometimes. But regardless, when it comes to red zone, it hasn't been great. And that little setback of getting that penalty called on us was all that it took in order to demolish that and put, once again, field goal up on the board. It seemed like we were doing that quite a bit. Albert, what was your thoughts on that call or the refs in general? Was it called fair and square, or fairly evenly, or too many flags? What were your thoughts, bud?
I didn't see that scene on that play, but yeah, in general, I think the refs are egregious in error. A lot of the times, a lot of holding calls that are not holding calls. I know it is a split-second decision. For example, the one with PS2 and interception or a touchdown. According to the rule books, it should have been called an interception because his 2 feet were on the ground first, and they caught the ball at the same time. So, and this is where I don't get Sean Payton either. Why not throw the red flag and see what happens? Because this really was, for me, it was an interception and not a touchdown, and they might have overturned it.
Yeah.
Go ahead.
I was going to say, I heard one person say, when have you heard that rule before they said that, though? When have you heard that the person who gets it's not a tie that goes to the offense or the defense, which it goes to the offense, that it's the person who has possession and gets their 2 feet down first? I don't think that's even a rule. I don't think that's even a thing. I think it's just I don't think you have to, one guy or the other has to get their feet down first and then that's a possession. I still think it's a possession regardless, and you just have to survive going to the ground, right? Just like any other possession. It's not when If the tie goes to the offense, then all he has to do is survive going to the ground and still have possession, and it should be his, even if it's co-possessed by the defense at that point.
But I think this goes back to a bigger problem, and if you want to fix it, it's pretty simple. If you have full-time refs and you had a ref that was focusing on this year-round, you wouldn't have this as it's deep in the officiating book, but if this is your job full-time, you would know that, and I think this is an easy, I mean, the NFL is making billions upon billions of dollars. Why in 2023 we do not have full-time refs is, I mean, we're paying quarterbacks $230 million guaranteed and all this sorts of stuff, and the commissioner's making $45 million a year. Why we are not paying refs why they are not full-time employees is a joke, and the NFL is creating this problem.
Yeah, and here's the other thing. I know the refs have their own contracts and stuff, and the NFL cannot do much about it. But accountability. If they do really something stupid, okay, you cannot play, you cannot ref the next game, or something like that. You put them aside, and that's not happening either.
They do rate them, rank them, and downgrade them, so you don't ever get the worst refs in like playoff and Super Bowl situations. Those are actually the best. So they do lose out on opportunity if they're bad in that regard. But yeah, it would be nice to say, oh, we're gonna have to dock you a week's salary because of a bad call. Now that would be something else. You just went and worked for free last week because of a bad call. That would be something else. So, gonna hit some comments, but I wanted to get to a couple of different things, and I'm sorry, I'm trying to get to everything.
Well, you're finding those. It's not. Yeah. For me, it's not so much the human error. That's one of the reasons I like human refs is the human element. Not everything is perfect, but when some of these calls are just when you or anyone else sitting at home can make this call and it is the easiest decision and they flat get it wrong, that's where I have a problem. When the NFL easily could fix this, we are spending billions upon billions, millions, whatever, in safety and all this different stuff, and yet when it comes to getting a call right, we overcome it, and that's, I mean, that's what I just don't understand that. Not with the amount of money they're making now, there's no excuse for it.
That's fair, man. A, the refs should be accountable. We should have a program in place, and B, at some point, good teams are just going to have to overcome bad circumstances that arise.
That's what I was going to say too when you said that. I hate when the NFL comes back out on Monday or Tuesday and says, "Oh, we missed that call." Cool. Then why even say something? All you do is you throw your ref under the bus, and
there's nothing.
And it does nothing, especially if it's a call that affects the outcome of a game. You're not going to change the outcome, so why even say anything? I mean, all you are is drumming up negative publicity for something. Stick by your ref, even if you're wrong. So what? Stick behind him. I hate when they come out and admit fault like that, especially on game altering calls.
Yeah. No, I agree. It makes no sense. What does make sense is guys like Ernie Mays who jump in, and he's jumping in and say, "Go Broncos country only." Thank you so much, Ernie. Appreciate you so much jumping in here. You're such a great supporter. Appreciate you guys. You guys are why we do this. We're going to be wrapping this up here pretty quickly. I want to get to a few other thoughts and ideas in here. I'm going to jump out of the comments here for just a second. Albert, I want you to pick out, you said that you wanted to kind of review the coaches.
Hmm.
All right, man. I wanted you to choose one so that we can get maybe a little bit of this done. Choose one coach that you would like to review. Say your 2 cents. We'll start going around the board and seeing if anybody else has anything on yours or if they want to chime in about a different coach as well. Okay, bud?
Okay. So for me, it is Sean Payton. Uh, Sean Payton needs to be accountable because he does a lot of things in error too. And it looks like right now he can do whatever he wants and he has not been held accountable. Jody already said it. Open up the playbook. Do what you said you would do in the beginning by your choices and run, run, run. It looks like a little bit it's going to happen. If you're not happy with a coach and it doesn't change, get rid of him. Unfortunately, the last two games, Fiji has turned it around a little bit. Is it Fiji or are the players stepping up because they don't want to lose their job? We don't we don't exactly know it, but yeah, two errors, and Sean Payton just gets frustrated during the game, and then afterwards he calms down and then he apologizes towards the coach. I think that's not the way it should be. So that is my 2 cents on Sean Payton right now.
That's the Dutchie playing the judge, man, and laying it down on Sean Payton. Time to step up in a lot of different ways and time to have a little bit of accountability to your own self, your own words, and your own actions. Jody, do you have anything to add about Sean Payton, or do you have another coach that you'd like to talk about here as we do like kind of a coach's recap review, or I don't know, maybe roast? Go right ahead, buddy.
No, I'm going to call this same coach out every week until I've been asking for two things. One, he has corrected, but I've been asking for one thing from since whatever the second week of the season. Marvin Mims, he's like whatever I've seen, seventh on this team in targets, and I don't know what it is after this game, but was second in receiving yards before last game. This guy has electric speed, and we don't try to get him the ball deep. Speed kills in the NFL, and he has it. And Russell Wilson still has, in my opinion, the best deep ball in the NFL. Use it. You can watch, and I've seen two different graphics. I know Tyreek Hill is probably the fastest guy in the NFL, but Tua throws the ball, and he's not even. I mean, he's throwing it, and it don't even look like there's a guy there, and Tyreek Hill gets to it. That is what Marvin Mims can do. He can outrun coverage, and Russ can throw the ball deep. So if you're going to throw the ball 39 times, there is no reason that should not happen 3, 4, 5 times a game, in my opinion.
Get to a couple more comments here in the message board, but I want to say my 2 cents, man. And maybe I'm just taking a little step back. Maybe I'm taking a little bit of a breather. Maybe I'm just, coming to the realization that not everything happens quickly. Not all resolutions happen quickly. One of the things that Trevor was in the comments a little bit earlier, one of our co-hosts here on the Denver Bronco Roundup and Rocky Mountain Sports Network, and he was saying, who's our replacement for Greg Dulcich? That's on Sean Payton that we don't have a replacement in here for Greg Dulcich, being more of a receiving tight end. Man, it is tough to try to find fantastic guys at every single position and have backups for every single position. It's tough to come in here in your first year as a head coach and work with guys you've never worked with before. It's tough to come in here as a defensive coach and work with guys maybe you haven't worked with before or in a few years when it comes to Vance Joseph. It takes time for all of this to come around and come together. And I think what we've seen in the last couple of weeks has been actual progression. We've seen, I saw a Denver Broncos offense that came out and scored a touchdown in the third quarter. I didn't think I'd see that this year. And they did it well, and they looked good, and they were competitive. And they down the stretch, they were competitive, and they went out, and they were hungry, and they won. And we had a defense that looked like they were legit and were able to hang with a team and not look like they were being embarrassed left, right, and otherwise. And we weren't calling out names, whether it be that Mathis isn't playing, but it wasn't Fabian Moreau either. So I think we're starting to see some pieces and parts come together. And the coach that I'm calling out, at least this week, is none. Keep doing what you're doing. Keep making improvements. Keep heading in the right direction. As even Jody said, hey man, we saw it a little bit. You know, you said you saw one of the two parts from Sean Payton that you wanted to see, but you're still going to call him out until you see the second part. So you've seen part of it. What did you see, by the way, Jody? You never embellished on what that second thing was, or that first thing.
The last 2 weeks, he's really decided to run the football.
There you go.
And yeah, there was nothing good about the offense in Kansas City, but last week you could see we're running the football, set some stuff up. Is it getting executed 100%? No. But there are some stats I've seen for the people that are, well, why aren't we scoring 30 points and all this and that? 12 teams in the NFL score over 24 points a game. So that's 2/3 of the NFL score less than 24 points a game right now. We are almost average. We average 21.5, almost 22.
There you go.
I mean, so there's a couple of teams that are explosive every week, but even take Miami. Put massive points up last week on Philly. San Francisco last 2 weeks hasn't put big points up.
Just lost to the Vikings last
Just lost to the Vikings. So
yeah,
this, and I even go back. It's like it's shifting to a defensive thing, because you can go back to last year and only 4 quarterbacks threw for over 30 touchdowns. That's it. So so you can't say that the benchmark is you got to throw 30 or whatever. Well,
yeah,
only 4 quarterbacks did it, and Geno Smith was one of them. So where are all these elite quarterbacks that,
put up these big numbers that we're talking about, trying to compare to? Yeah. Makes perfectly good sense. Just like our good friend Michael Ronquillo. And I'm going to just talk about this a little bit, and I'm going to go to Albert on this. And then we're going to probably have to wrap up and get out of here. He says wide receiver Cortland Sutton and wide receiver Jerry Jeudy is getting more playing time than Marvin Mims. I don't understand why Marvin Mims ain't getting more playing time. This is my theory, and I want you to tell me, and you can go off on it or not. Are we trying to get Jerry Jeudy, Cortland Sutton, as much exposure as we head towards Halloween? That's just a thought. Albert, I'm going to let you take the thought, though, and tell me if I'm right, if I'm wrong. And regardless if I'm right or wrong, is there still a way to get Marvin Mims into this offense like Michael Ronquillo wants?
I think Marvin Mims' role will be much more prominent than we have seen so far. Yeah, this is a show of Jerry Jeudy and Sutton. Sutton. To see if we can still get some trade offers for them just before the trade deadline. And if that doesn't happen, then we will see more of them working. And maybe that's why they're hiding Jaleel McLaughlin, because they don't want Jaleel to be traded. Because the NFL is awake, and they do see what we have in Jaleel McLaughlin, and if you expose him too much, you might get an offer that you cannot.
Can't refuse.
Yeah.
Yeah, interesting, man. That was just my thought, man. Jody, are you buying that, man? Are we maybe showing off some Cortland Sutton, some Jerry Jeudy, and that's knocking into Marvin Mims' playing time? Or are you not buying that? You were the judge that said we need to open this up. Can we open it up, still have Marvin Mims involved in this, and still be able to show off these two guys?
Yeah, you definitely can. I think it's what came first, the chicken or the egg. Are you showcasing these guys? And you're playing them extra. What if one of them gets hurt? I mean, that's what I've heard with other guys. You can't play them because you don't want them. You don't want them to get hurt, and then their trade value goes down. And then you hear, well, showcase them. So, I
damned if you do, damned if you
do.
don't.
I think it's just it's just Sean Payton has a whatever you want to call it with playing rookies, in my opinion, and that's what it is. That's just how it's going to be.
It's funny you mentioned that. I was talking a little bit earlier. By the way, Kenny Kirkpatrick jumping over saying showing some YouTube love, and Kenny. Yeah, I guess I did. I don't know if I said anything about Kenny in particular, but Kenny is the other half of the K&K Sports Show, and Kenny is a fantastic host over there. Try to keep Kurt Valente in line. I mean, just try. Kenny does a fantastic job over there. K&K Sports Show, fantastic, rambunctious group. Again, all your major sports, East Coast flair, cover you coast to coast, with your sports coverage. But check out the K&K Sports Show, and appreciate the love, Kenny. I'm going to lose my train of thought as I jumped over to Kenny, though, because you were just, talking about just, again, about Sean Payton playing rookies. I jumped in the comments, I believe, when you guys were over on the K&K Sports Show and mentioned the fact that, hey, Sean Payton likes to deal off his draft picks and bring in larger name free agents, established free agents, and that's how he kind of built his team through in New Orleans. So kind of leads to what you were saying, Jody. Speaking about leading to what we're saying, Jody, we've been on here about an hour, so we should start wrapping this show up. Kenny's just coming in and saying thanks so much for the mention, and we love you. We love you too, buddy, so much. And I guess I'll just hit Trevor real quick. Trevor's coming in and saying Marvin Mims sitting on the bench does nothing for his development. The Broncos trade up in the draft for both Riley and Marvin Mims. Good point. If you're trading up, they should be seeing the field a little bit more. Marvin Mims has shown that he absolutely can be that guy. Riley Moss, who knows? Maybe he's not that guy. He hasn't shown it in practice. I can give a little bit of credence to that, but Marvin Mims looks like a true product that should be on the field. So thank you for the great show, says Pearl, and thank you for being a great fan, Pearl. You've come in here as of recently and just been fantastic. I digress a little bit, though, so I can give Jody the microphone, the screen time, and maybe give us some final thoughts as we get out of here, bud.
Just build off of what we did last week. If we don't win another game this year, I would love if it was this one, just so I can stop hearing about this losing streak. I'm over it. We've been so close to ending this so many times, twice last year. Case Keenum overthrowing Demaryius Thomas, just time after time. At some point, it's got to end. And Nuggets start off right where they finished off last year. Pretty much handled the Lakers with ease. Start off the season 1-0. Joker triple-double again.
Imagine that.
And looks, from what I seen from the little I caught in the beginning, the bench looked good. And if you might, I hate to throw out the D word quick like this dynasty, but I think you might be seeing that here.
Love it, buddy. Love it, man. Saw a little, if you guys notice, he's even going to lean in for us. I think you can see a little gleam in his eye, man. And that's that little Nugget love coming through, looking good right off the bat. You know, it's good to see a little bit of happiness come into the face of Jody. He's had a little tough run with both the Broncos and now, of course, his Astros. But the Nuggets, man, the Nuggets look legit, man. I agree.
I love when someone chirps all off season and then doesn't back it up. They chirped the Nuggets all off season, and the Nuggets went out and
Got it
Showed
done.
them why they are the champs.
100%, buddy. 100%, man. We'll talk a little bit more about that Nuggets love here as I get out of here. But before we get out of here, first, Albert, I know you're going to be fantastic in thanking all of our wonderful guests, and I appreciate you guys that so much. So, but beyond that, man, any final thoughts about Broncos for our Broncos fans, for the Denver Bronco Roundup fans? What do you have going, for the next little bit here for us?
For the next little bit, well, let's get ready for Sunday and be cheerleaders for the Broncos, and let's have a win. I think the Broncos will be able to win it with a 28-18, and so yeah, I really think we can do it. We have many years we have been so close. I think we can turn it around this time. And for the people who were in the show, I really thank you for being there. It's always a pleasure to have you in the show. Jeremy, Pearl, Michael, Roy, and even the Mile High Priest Chad was in the
Oh, I did see Chad. Thank you, Chad, for
was in
jumping in
there.
here.
Thanks for being there, Patrick. Of course, my lovely wife was there. Sis, Kenny, Kurt, Trevor, Ernie, and yeah, thank you all for being there. And yeah, I'm looking forward to see you next time.
Absolutely, man. Absolutely. We appreciate you guys. Albert, thank you very much. We appreciate all of our fans, everyone that he listed there, everybody that's watching that maybe isn't chiming in, all of you that like, share, and subscribe and aren't here right now, all of you future like, sharers, and subscribers as well. Michael's coming in here saying, great show tonight, Keith, Jody, and Albert. Pearl coming in here and said, hopefully we can celebrate. Yeah, I think there's opportunity to be hopeful about a celebration. A couple of other thank yous. I just want to thank the Judge Jody for coming on here, being my partner, being my host every single night. Albert, the Mile High Dutchie, coming in here, Noppers Knowledge, getting it done, and being again a fantastic co-host. Appreciate you guys so much. Also want to thank Rocky Mountain Sports Network. That's who brings us to you every single week. The Rocky Mountain Sports Network will get you covered on all of your Broncos, your Avalanche, your Nuggets, and even your Rockies. They'll get you covered over at Rocky Mountain Sports Network. You can find them at RockyMountainSportsNetwork.com. That website right there. It's RockyMountainSN.com. That's RockyMountainSN.com. I know that our good friend Trevor was talking about getting a piece out, so look for that here very shortly. So you can also search us out on Facebook, YouTube, and Twitter. Just put in Rocky Mountain Sports Network, and we'll get you covered on all of your Colorado sports, all up and down the front range. Also, guys, Willow Seasonings and Blends. That's our sponsor, man. And I'll tell you what, if you're looking for the best rubs and sauces on the planet, they're Blue Ribbon, award-winning, Colorado-owned, Denver Bronco loving, and the most fantastic and I guess, what am I looking for? Just giving company that I know. That promo code down there gives in two different ways, guys. One, if you type in DBR 2023 on checkout, it gets you 15% off. That's DBR 2023. Again, 15% off your internet purchase on checkout. Secondarily, every time you use that code, that's $1 that goes to a Rocky Mountain Sports Network family in need. So, guys, you're helping out yourself. You're helping out another family. We appreciate it so much, just like we appreciate WillowSeasonings.com, just like we appreciate Rocky Mountain Sports Network, and just like we appreciate all of our fans that have come in here tonight. Appreciate it so much. Hey, we got a couple. We got Pearl Summon, but you do. Oh, she loves dog shows. So we'll get out with Pearl loving dog shows. I'll read more into the comments. I probably missed something else in there. What a way to end it, guys. Final predictions for me. By the way, we've been doing a Friday show, me and Trevor, so watch for that coming up. Jody, did you have a final score prediction, or did you want to throw one out there before we get out of here? Oh, I don't know if we can. Oh, there we go.
I'm going to go 21 17 Broncos in this streak.
Yes.
Finally.
I love it, man. So we got the two guys on here, the two initial roundup guys, along with the third guy right here, both going for wins. Hopefully we'll be celebrating, Pearl, just like you're talking about. You'll get my prediction on Friday when I'm back on with Trevor. Check us out then. Until then, see if we can do this. Keep your feet in your holster. Keep your guns in your... Oh, I already did it wrong. Keep your feet in your stirrups. Keep your guns in your holsters. Keep your Broncos in your heart. Until next time, we're out of here, guys. Thank you so much.